Rain had fallen through the night, leaving downtown Charleston wrapped in a glossy sheen. By 7:40 a.m., the courthouse plaza bustled with lawyers, clerks, defendants, and spectators. The smell of roasted beans drifted from a street-side coffee cart where two uniformed city cops, Officer Granger and Officer Lyle, leaned against the counter, laughing too loudly for the hour. Across the plaza, Maya Caldwell, 37-year-old black woman with a calm face and a quiet strength, hurried across the wet concrete. She clutched a manila folder filled with case notes from a custody hearing she'd been preparing to attend. She wasn't a lawyer, but she was a dedicated guardian ad litem and a fierce advocate for kids lost in the system. Maya had helped dozens of children find safe homes. But today she was nervous. This case was different. The boy she represented was terrified of being returned to his abusive father, and Maya knew she had to speak up for him, pulling her scarf tighter around her neck. She approached the courthouse steps when suddenly she heard Granger's voice cut through her thoughts. Hey, slow down there," he barked, stepping into her path. Maya froze. She had seen the look in his eyes before, the kind that scanned her as if she were a threat, not a citizen. "Good morning, officers," she said softly. Lyle smirked. "You in a rush? What's in the folder? Mind showing us?" "It's confidential case material," she replied calmly. "I'm heading inside for a hearing." Granger stepped closer, too close. "Confidential, huh? Funny how everyone's got an excuse these days." Maya inhaled slowly. "If you'll excuse me, I'm late." She moved a step around them. That's when Granger's arm swung out and his coffee cup tipped. Hot liquid splashed across her scarf, her coat, her papers dripping down her sleeve. Maya gasped and staggered back. "Oh," Lyle said with a theatrical gasp. "Ow, look what you made him do." Granger chuckled. "Oops, you people are always so jumpy." The words stung more than the heat. People paused and stared. Someone recorded. But Maya did not yell. She did not cry. She slowly wiped her coat, gathered her papers, and whispered, "I hope you never treat a child this way." Lyle scoffed. "Lady, the only bench you'll see today is outside." They walked off laughing. Maya stood alone, drenched, trembling, unaware that in just minutes the truth would flip their world upside down. Because the man stepping out of the unmarked black car at the curb was not a lawyer, was not a prosecutor, not an activist. He was the new presiding judge of Charleston's Superior Court, and he was about to see everything. The car door opened, and Judge Isaiah Mercer stepped out, a tall, dignified black man in his early 40s, with sharp features and gentle eyes. He had earned a national reputation for fairness, discipline, and a razor-sharp legal mind. After years working federal cases, he'd transferred back home to Charleston to clean up a court drowning in misconduct. He was supposed to enter quietly through the back entrance, but fate had other plans. The sound of raised voices pulled him toward the plaza. He saw Maya wiping her sleeve, struggling to salvage her wet papers. He saw two officers walking away, snickering. He saw the shock, the humiliation, the injustice inked across her face. "Ma'am, are you all right?" he asked. Maya startled, not recognizing him. "Oh, I'm fine, thank you. Your papers." He noticed the melted ink. "Are these for court?" "Yes," she whispered. "Did those officers do that to you?" She hesitated. She didn't want trouble. They were professional. Judge Mercer studied her a moment. He knew fear when he saw it. He also knew silence often protected misconduct. "I'm Isaiah," he said softly. "Let me help." He picked up her soggy paperwork, his jaw tightening. "Come with me." "But I'm going to be late," she stammered. He gave a faint smile. "You won't be. Promise." 10 minutes later, the courtroom lights flickered on. Lawyers straightened their ties, reporters whispered. And officers Granger and Lyle swaggered into the gallery, still laughing. "Wonder who the judge is today?" Lyle snorted. "Hope it's that old guy who lets everything slide." They sank into their seats. The courtroom door opened. Everyone rose. Granger's smirk died instantly, because the man stepping onto the bench wearing the black robe with the golden crest was the same man who had helped the nobody woman outside, Judge Isaiah Mercer. Maya sat near the front, hands trembling. She had no idea the man who helped her was the judge. Granger whispered, "Oh, hell no." Lyle's jaw slackened. "That's him. That's the dude from outside." Judge Mercer scanned the room slowly. His gaze locked onto the two officers. They shrank. He rapped his gavel once. "Before we begin today's docket," he announced, "there is a matter of conduct outside this courthouse that requires immediate attention." Maya froze. Lyle whispered, "Don't look at him. Don't look." Judge Mercer continued, "Would Officers Granger and Lyle please approach the bench?" Their faces went pale. The gallery buzzed. The officers stepped forward reluctantly. Granger attempted to smile. "Morning, Your Honor. Do not speak unless spoken to," Judge Mercer said. Voice like steel. Both men swallowed hard. Judge Mercer leaned forward. "This morning I witnessed conduct unbecoming of law enforcement officers. Would you care to explain why a civilian was verbally harassed and had hot coffee spilled on her while entering a courthouse?" Granger's mouth opened. "Your Honor, she bumped into me?" "She did no such thing," Mercer replied. "I was standing 20 feet away." Lyle tried. "We didn't know she was going inside for court." Mercer raised an eyebrow. "Does one need a specific destination to be treated with dignity? Or is your respect conditional?" Silence. "In this courtroom," Mercer continued, "everyone is equal. That includes Ms. Caldwell, who is present today to advocate for a child's welfare. And instead of being supported, she was humiliated." Gasps rippled through the room as Maya covered her mouth. Judge Mercer wasn't finished. "Officers, your actions violated departmental policy, state conduct codes, and basic humanity, effective immediately. I am ordering an internal misconduct review and suspending your authority from this courthouse until the investigation concludes." Lyle blurted, "You're suspending us? For a coffee spill?" Judge Mercer's voice thundered, "For abuse of power, for racism, for humiliation of a citizen on the steps of justice." Granger took a step back, as if struck. "Bailiff," Mercer said calmly, "escort the officers out." The room erupted. Phones rose. The officers were led away in disbelief. And for the first time, Maya breathed again. Once the officers were removed, the courtroom settled. Judge Mercer shifted tone gently. "Ms. Caldwell," he said. Maya rose slowly. "Yes, Your Honor. Please step forward." Her heart pounded. When she reached the bench, Mercer spoke softly so only she could hear. "No child deserves to be unheard, and no advocate should be silenced before they can speak." Her eyes welled with tears. The custody case began. Maya presented her evidence with renewed confidence, and Judge Mercer listened carefully to every word. After hours of testimony, arguments, and emotional statements, he made a ruling that protected the boy from further harm, granting him temporary placement with his grandparents and full review by child services.
Ow.
Maya exhaled. Justice, finally, was real. As the courtroom emptied, Judge Mercer called to her once more. "Miss Caldwell," she approached. "Thank you for standing up for that child," he said, "and for maintaining dignity, even when others denied you theirs." "Thank you for seeing me," she whispered. Mercer shook his head. "I didn't just see you. I saw the truth." 3 weeks later, the misconduct review concluded. It wasn't just about coffee. Multiple complaints surfaced. The old body cam footage resurfaced. Patterns appeared. Judge Mercer called a special hearing. The courtroom overflowed. Granger and Lyle shuffled inside, visibly shaken. Their arrogance was gone. "Officers," Mercer began, "this court has reviewed the findings. Your treatment of Ms. Caldwell was not an isolated incident. It was the latest in a series of abuses," Lyle whispered. "Please, Your Honor." Maya watched silently from the gallery. "For violating public trust," Mercer continued, "and for conduct unbecoming of your oath, this court recommends termination and mandatory accountability training." Gasps, murmurs, shock. Granger looked up with red eyes. We messed up." "Yes," Mercer said. "But accountability is the first step toward change." Granger hung his head. Lyle nodded silently. After the hearing, Maya stood on the courthouse steps, the same place where her humiliation had begun. This time, the sky was bright. Judge Mercer stepped out beside her. "You changed more than one life today," he said. "So did you," she replied. He smiled. "Justice doesn't start in the courtroom." Maya looked toward the city, feeling hope she hadn't felt in years. For the first time, the courthouse felt like a place where truth lived, and she walked away knowing what happened that morning would echo through Charleston for a long time, Two officers had poured coffee on a woman they assumed was powerless. Minutes later, she watched them freeze in fear. The stranger who helped her put on the black robe and took the bench as the judge who held their fate in his hands. Justice, at last, had a face.